The dawn glow inched gently over shattered Mesa Valley, bathing the iridescent in warm golden tones. Towering mesquite trees threw stretched shadows across the dry soil, their limbs reaching out like gnarled hands over the faltering ranchland. Emma Matthews stood on the timber porch of her family's ailing cattle ranch, her fair hair gleaming in early rays, observing another dust plume rising far off. Another vehicle, another wanderer passing through. The Matthews ranch had belonged to her kin for 3 generations, yet now it clung to survival by the frailest of threads. Years of drought, declining cattle prices, and mounting debts had eroded her Father Shrezzel until he passed 2 years back, leaving Emma to tend the ranch alone. At 32, unwed, she bore the burden of a legacy slipping through her grasp like fine desert dust. The truck rolled closer, stirring a trail of reddish-brown haze. As it neared, Emma discerned a lone driver, a man in a timeless tan cowboy hat, his broad frame filling a leather coat despite Heartwarming dawn. His bearing hinted at more than a mere transient. He carried a purposeful assurance. When the truck halted, Emma stayed on the porch. Visitors seldom brought glad tidings to struggling ranches like hers. The man stepped out, and Emma couldn't miss. His movement strong yet restrained, like a mountain cat, powerful yet measured. A mark on his cheek hinted at recent strife. His belt buckle glinted in the sun, a crafted design of a longhorn skull set against an ornate backdrop. "Miss Matthews," he called, his voice low and gruff. Emma stepped down the porch stairs. "Who's inquiring?" "John," he replied, tipping his hat lightly. "Heard you might be open to selling." It wasn't a query, it was a claim, heavy with the certainty of someone who knew the answer already. Over the next hour, John sat at her kitchen table. He listened more than he spoke as Emma recounted the ranch struggles, the failing water system, fed dwindling cattle herd, the banks. Notice growing more urgent each month. "I've been studying this valley for years," John said, his fingers circling the edge of his coffee cup. "Not just this ranch, the whole valley." Emma glanced up, intrigued. Most investors deemed her land a lost cause. Developers aimed to carve it up, sell it in lots. Ranchers saw only dust and fading profits. "You're not local," Emma observed. It wasn't a question. John grinned, a trace of mystery in his gaze. "Let's just say I recognize worth when I see it. Not just in land, but in people." By noon, the sun was harsh. John toured property with Emma, posing precise questions about water rights, soil makeup, and past cattle trails. His expertise past a casual buyer's interest. "My family lost our ranch when I was a boy," he said offhandedly. "Watched all my prints built get auctioned off. Vowed then I'd never let that happen to another ranching family if I could prevent it." As the day wore on, Emma found herself sharing more than she'd planned the challenges of running the ranch alone. Her hopes of upgrading the irrigation, themeless fight against big agricultural firms swallowing small ranches across the state. John listened, truly listened. A evening fell, casting long shadows over the dusty terrain. John made an offer that seemed beyond belief. "I'm purchasing Thowell Valley," he said plainly, "but not to split or sell, to preserve it. And I'm putting the deed in your name." Emma stared, sure she'd misunderstood. "The ranch stays with your family," John went on. "I'll fund the upgrades for irrigation and invest in sustainable cattle breeding. It's a partnership, not charity." He explained he was part of a conservation group dedicated to saving traditional ranching communities. Yet something in his gaze hinted at a deeper, personal drive. "Why me? Why this ranch?" Emma asked. John's fingers grazed the mark on his cheek. "Some battles are worth fighting. Some legacies deserve saving." The deal had terms. Emma would need to run the ranch with new, sustainable methods. She'd have oversight, but also substantial support. It wasn't a gift, it was a chance. As sunset bathed the valley in deep crimsons and golds, Emma realized that her world had transformed in a single day. The ranch her family had fought for, and her father cherished, would not only endure but could flourish. "Who are you, really?" she asked John as he prepared to depart. He merely tipped his hat. "Someone who understands the worth of home." The next morning, legal papers confirmed what seemed impossible just hours before. The entire valley, not just her ranch, but surrounding lands, had been bought and reorganized. And Emma Matthews was at a chart. Her phone rang. The local bank manager, flustered and apologetic. Sadel, her debts were cleared. Her ranch wasn't just saved, it was set to become a beacon of modern, sustainable farming. Emma stepped onto the porch, watching another dust cloud in the distance. But this time, the dust didn't signify ruin or loss. It signaled promise. The enigmatic cowboy was gone, but his mark endured, etched into the very landscape off shattered Mesa Valley. Some stories, Emma realized, arrive unbidden, like rain in a parched season, like hope when all seems lost.